Let's talk about Anilaza, the last fighter on the roster. And starting with their aura, they have a nice big purple aura, which I am going to give a 5. And then for their grab, they just pick them up and throw them down. Pretty standard giant grab. I'm gonna give it a 3. And then for their skills, we have Ultrasonic Sensor, which is basically just after image. And then of course, because they're a giant and they tend to have it, we have Howl, which is an Instaspark. Also gives them some buffs. This isn't bad. An after image and an Instaspark. I've given them 5 in the past, so I'm gonna give it a 5 now. And then we have Warp Punch, which is a really cool rush. Of course, it's very similar to Janemba's ultimate, but that makes it even better to me. I mean, I think it is just as good as that attack. And it's just a 4 keybar rush. And then we have Spread Energy Blast, where after a little bit of a windup, they fire a big volley of energy into the air and it comes down on the opponent. Kind of like Krillin's Spread Energy Wave. I really don't mind this blast lineup so far. However, we have the ultimate Destruction Burst, which is just a big ol' keyball. I like the windup. I really like that we get a good sense of scale of Anilaza here. And then there's a good shot of the opponent getting swallowed by the attack. So I really can't complain all that much about this blast lineup. I think I'm gonna give it a 5. As for Anilaza's overall aura, super unique giant. I'm really glad that we got this character. They could have just not put them in the game. I know people generally don't love giant. They're just slow and bulky, but they're also hard to take down and pretty strong when it comes down to it. But I appreciate that they put them in the game anyway, because this is supposed to be the ultimate Dragon Ball experience, having characters from every era of the series and some oddballs in there. And this is one of those oddball characters that I am just happy is here. They are a super well-designed character. They have some really cool attacks. There's not really much else I can say. I think I'm gonna give their aura a 5. And that is it, folks. That is the last moveset review of the Sparking Zero roster. Now, I will be covering the 3rd DLC pack when it comes out, but who knows when that's gonna be. Very soon, I am going to release a video where I put every single character on the roster in a tier list of where I ranked them, so that we can see how the entire roster stacks up. But I am gonna take a little bit of a break from the moveset reviews, but then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna cover all of BT3. So if you are a fan of Budokai Tenkaichi, or if you are a new fan to the series and you want to go back and see what those characters are all about and how they compare to Sparking Zero, then stick around because that is going to be our next journey and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So consider subscribing to stick around and consider leaving a like if you enjoyed. But with that, I have been Gunchpot. This has been a moveset review. Thank you everybody again so much for watching, and of course, as always, goodbye forever.